Good evening. Good evening. How you guys doing out there? This Mike back with In the Spotlight podcast, episode 24, with a very, very special guest, my brother from another mother,
Yes,
Terence
sir.
T-Bone Johnson. What's up?
Yes,
What's
sir.
up, T-Bone?
What's up, bro? How you? I love how I changed that name because people see T-Bone and they be like, man, who is this guy? But if you say Terrence in Plainfield, or if you're not from Plainfield and you say my name, they won't know who you are. But when you say T-Bone, everybody know who you talk about.
Hey man, you definitely my go-to when I need anything done or any kind of connect in Plainfield, man. I want to thank you for coming on, and I always
Yes.
like to start off talking to my guests about
Mhm.
um what they mean to me, bro. And you always, like I said, you the go-to. You've been a supporter for my joint from day
Mhm.
one, man. And I don't take none of that stuff for granted. Any kind of things I did in Trenton, you was always a phone call away, bro. You always made sure the kids in Plainfield had what they needed. And I want to personally thank you, bro, because I don't take nothing for granted, man. I don't like, you know what I'm saying? I don't take
I
none of that
appreciate
stuff for granted. And I appreciate that I had that event, that Paul Patella Classic, and y'all put the joint up in y'all gym, bro.
Yes,
Somebody
sir.
sent me a picture of the banner
Yeah,
up in the gym, man. I
still
definitely
there.
appreciate that, man. That's
Yeah,
all love. You know what I mean?
actually, I
Go ahead.
just left that gym with
Mm,
basketball practice because I'm still coaching
mm,
and the banner's still hanging, bro. 2017, we won it, came down
mm,
there, and that banner's still there. And
and
remember the kid? I don't know if you remember. Remember the kid that you told me was gonna be good,
yeah.
Victor Torres? He just signed with Felicia.
That's what I'm talking about. See,
Yeah.
I had to, oh yeah,
I
he
was like,
wasn't really
dude.
doing nothing. I said, T,
Yeah.
he gonna be the one, bro. Relax. He
Yep.
gonna be all
You
right,
told
man. He gonna be all
you,
right, man.
you
He gonna
told
be
me.
all
I'm
right.
looking at the guards like, this one, this one. He was like, nah, that's the one. And that
Mm-hmm.
kid is going to Felicia, full scholarship.
All praises, man. All
Yes,
praises,
sir.
man. So this joint is about you, brother, man. So let's
Hmm.
get at it. Talk
Okay.
about growing up with sports in Plainfield and what made you a avid Plainfield Cardinal guy, man.
Okay, well, I will have to give that credit to my mother and my aunt who just recently passed away.
Mm.
This interview is actually going to be dedicated to her memory
All
because
praises, brother.
I still reach to her for her strength. She was always there to help me, whether it was concession stand, admissions table, or just sitting there and just smiling. I knew my aunt
Mm-hmm.
had me, so her passing away in September was big, was major in my life. But
Mm-hmm.
my mother and my aunt, they moved to Plainfield, I want to say in like the late 60s, and they
Mm.
just attached to Plainfield. We from Beckley, West Virginia, which is, well, Tams, West Virginia, but Beckley is
Mm-hmm.
the main city. And when
Mm-hmm.
they moved here, they just embraced the city of Plainfield. They loved it. And as my brother got older and I got older, we just would go to each game. That's my granddaughter. She would
Mm-hmm.
we would just go to all the basketball games, the football games. We were just entrenched in it. And then my
Oh,
brother ended up being the ball boy back in the 70s and early 80s for like championship.
wow.
Yeah, my brother was the ball boy. You know my brother, Chet. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. That's my dude.
Yes. Yeah. So it just went from that to being around. Before you know it, I started doing the clock, start holding the chains. Next thing you know,
Mm.
I started announcing the games, and I've been doing that for 21 years and going. So, but
All
I
praises
love my
on that,
city. Yeah,
man.
I love my city. I
Yes, you
have a
do.
thing. Yeah. I have a thing saying I'm rooting for everything Plainfield. I mean that bottom of my heart. I wake up every morning trying to figure out how can I help these kids get out of whatever situation they're in. If I can help, assist, make a phone call, email, I'm there for it. I don't want no glory. This is actually gonna be hard talking about me. I'm gonna let you do most of the talking when it comes to me.
Indeed, I'm here for it. I know how to
Yeah,
talk.
exactly. But
I know how to
I
talk.
appreciate
You know
that.
what I mean?
When you asked me to talk, I was like, why Mike want to talk to me? But then my wife was like, boom, 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 boom,
Yeah,
boom.
exactly. I
Yeah,
gotta give all my brothers their flowers, especially the
yes,
ones
sir.
that I know are in it that love the kids, and you deserve this, brother. That's why
I
I'm doing
appreciate
this.
that.
You know what I
Hmm.
mean? What are some of the all-time greats you saw on the basketball court growing up in Plainfield, brother?
Playfield. I mean, it starts in, like I said, I was born in 75, so I don't really remember the 70s. But
Mm-hmm.
if you let anyone from Plainfield tell you, they're going to say the teams from the 70s were way better than the teams from the 80s,
Of
90s,
course, of
2000s.
course.
You know, they were just bigger, stronger, faster. And then, like, you know, you see some of the guys still around. And like Lenny Caspar, my boy Buggy that throws the powder up, he'll be
Mm-hmm.
like, this guy was 6'7" playing shooting guard. This guy was playing the top. He was like, man, they would have killed Justin, or they would have did this if they could,
Uh-huh.
you know. So, but like I said, my the time I can go back to was Jabbar Jones, who went to Ryder,
Mm-hmm.
Derek Johnson, who lived in the
I know D.
project.
I know D. That's my
Yeah,
guy.
exactly. Live out in
Mm-hmm.
Trenton now. He moved to Trenton.
Mm-hmm.
Most humble man that I know, Derek Johnson. He did all this stuff, accolades, but I promise you, if I call him right now, he'll be like, "Nah, I'm good." Like he's
Soft,
just,
super soft spoken.
yeah, super soft spoken. So, like I said,
Indeed, indeed.
my tenure started with Derek Johnson, Jabbar Jones in the late '90s,
Mm.
and it just went from there. But if you're talking the 2000s, you can't start talking playing for basketball without Andre Dabney, Jahad Muhammad.
Mm.
Jahad is crazy. God bless. I can't even think his name. He coached the Wildcats. Um,
Tim
uh,
Morgan.
yes, Morgan.
That's what I coached with. I coached with Tim Morgan from
Really?
yeah, I coached with Tim before I had Andrew Bynum. I had
Okay.
what was the wide receiver from New Brunswick? Dwayne Jarrett. He was
Dwayne
on my
Jarrett. Yeah.
team, Andrew Bynum.
Wow.
And I had a couple kids from Lawrenceville Prep. We had a crew. We was trying to
Wow.
get a Nike deal. Yeah, I coached with Tim
Okay.
Morgan before I got with Galen and them.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Carl Towns used to coach with. It was me, Carl
Yes.
Towns, Rick Brunson.
Yeah.
Rick Brunson that used to play at Rutgers.
Yeah. And I always
yeah.
I always tell people when they talk about Carl Towns and his shooting from our veteran hoop days. I mean, when I used to bring kids to the tournament stuff, and Carl would have Cat out there shooting at the 3-point line, 6'9", 6'10", 13, 14 years old, just shooting threes. And he'll be like, one day this is gonna make, you know, you're gonna need this, blah blah blah. And back then, if you think about it, the game wasn't big men at the top of the
Yeah, at
key.
all. At
Exactly.
all.
And now look, we watching Cat NBA doing his thing. So we were around to see all that. So it's beautiful. But like I was saying, with Tim Morgan was like, yo, it's this kid named Jahad Muhammad. He's transferring to Plainfield. We already had Andre Dabney, this kid named Bobby Holloman. So we already had a pretty good team. But then with Jahad came, man, we just took off. And they actually started what we perceived to be like the guard high school. You know what I'm saying? Because Plainfield, if anyone knows anything about Plainfield, we produce guards. We only 2.5 miles square radius. But when I tell you, when we have some guards for you, we have some guards. And it started with them two, and it just went to Anthony Nelson, Jarrell Thompson. Like these are all kids that went on to play Division I basketball. Um, uh, Anthony Nelson, Jarrell Thompson, and it just keep going, and then obviously Say Cool and Jamal Lane and all them that took us over the top. But yeah.
Now we're gonna get there, but let's talk about when I first met you you had the Wide Chunk Conference site when I was doing Metro Hoops, and what made you start that site, man? And I used to get a lot of information off of there before I even met you, bro. Talk about that and what made you start it.
Yeah. I mean, people always say I was ahead of the time with that, ahead of the curve. Because we're talking like 97, 98. And, you know, it was like everything was still World Wide Web at that time. So, like, my whole site was eTeams, and then it was eteams.com/Watch on Conference. Because I would go to all the games, and I had a tendency of remembering kids, remembering stats, and I enjoyed it. So I was like, man, if I could just like make this a passion of mine, you know what I'm saying? So I just put my passion to that, start interviewing guys, start ranking them, you know, going to the games. But I didn't realize what I was doing at the time. Then I would go to Shabazz, because at the time the Watch on Conference was Eastside, Shabazz, Irvington, Plainfield, Elizabeth. There was no off night. I mean,
it was loaded. I remember that. I remember that. You talking that talk right now.
It was brutal. You look at, and Irvington had this chant, and I know it's Bam watching this and Ben Robinson. They used to chant, if we lose, we fight. We lose, we fight. We lose. Bro, can you imagine that in that little gym? And we from Plainfield, and we hear the fans saying that? Bro, it was crazy. But it was, you know, like I said, I start noticing the kids, and they'll be like, you T-Bone from the Watch on Conference site? And I'll be like, yeah, what's going on? Cause they be like, oh man, I'm better than this kid. I'm better than this kid. And I'd be like, well,
Mm,
prove it to me. Show me. Next game, show me. And then they'll go out there and they started playing harder. I felt as though I was inspiring them
indeed,
to play better. You know what I'm saying? Like I walk
indeed.
in the gym and everybody wanna like put it on for me. You know what I'm saying?
I
But I
understand.
yes, I mean yeah, you know exactly. I mean, I'm sure we'll get into that,
Yeah,
but
I
yeah.
understand.
But it started with that, and then I actually started coaching AAU after that. And some of those kids I was watching, they started playing. So I would leave work in Union. I'll go to Irvington, pick up Michael Larcy. Then I go to Elizabeth, get Chris Severe, Ed Sims, and
Mm,
Blake Dudley, and then make my way back to Plainfield, pick up Mike Gordon and AP and all them. And they'll all be in my what I had. Oh my God, Cherokee, I think at the time, and now I have
mhm,
all of them in
mhm,
the
mhm,
car. And they all played against each other, but it was good because it was
mhm,
good
mhm,
competition. So that's how I
mhm,
got into coaching AAU.
And then I
That's
had
it.
that's back when I was doing Metro hoops, man. And I
Mhm.
ain't gonna front, our tournaments used to be wild, bro. But that's what I learned not to do when I started basketball spotlight.
I don't have no comment, Mike.
G
No
my boy,
comment.
G my
Yeah,
boy.
I love G. I love all
G
them
my
brothers.
boy. No, man, G super tight now. We talk on the phone,
That's
we
what's
talk
up.
about God all the time. That's my boy, man. But real is
That's what's
real. You
up.
know what I mean? It was wild.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I ran into his son one day. He looked at me. He was like, "Bone." I'm like, I mean, it was like a basketball tournament,
Yeah,
Bijan tournament. I ain't seen Lil Galen in forever. I'm like,
yeah.
you're a man now. He was in a movie or something. He sent me the
hmm
clip. I paid the $10. I watched it. To
Yeah, and that's
support.
when I was trying to get you to come over, bro. I wanted you
Yeah,
to
yeah,
come to Metro Hoops bad, bro. I was like, yo, I
exactly.
got you with me. We just locked this whole thing down.
Yeah,
Da-da-da-da. You was like, nah, bro. I got this stuff I got going on with these
yeah,
kids. I'm like, bro. Da-da-da-da.
yeah,
But
yeah.
looking back, hindsight now, bro, it was a great decision for you because I
Hmm.
ended up leaving like 2 years in, 2 years later. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I
Exactly. And
mean?
like I said, I remember speaking with you at the Bennigan's in Piscataway, and you was like, "Yo, I'm about to go. I'm about to go focus on this middle school." And at the time, it was no vehicle there. Like they didn't see your vision, and
Nobody did. I told them, I
nobody
tried
did.
to get them to do it. Nobody
Yeah,
didn't want to move with me, bro.
yeah. You was like, nah. You was like, I'm gonna go through this middle school thing. And next thing you know, basketball spotlight just took off.
Hey T, could you get them? It's oh okay, okay. Yeah,
Oh no, you good.
so then it was like next thing you know, now you started AAU and then back in the middle of the 90s, mid 1990s, my man Art Pearson starts
Yes,
the MSU Skyliners, man. Take me back
yes,
to when Art first started this and was you a part of it in the beginning and what was the vision?
yeah. So the MSU Skyline started in 1995. Art Pearson was
Mm,
well, I'm gonna tell his. I mean, he could tell his own story. I always say everybody has their own story to tell, but I'm
mhm,
sure he won't mind me saying this. So the MSU Skyliners were birthed because the CJ Jammers told Art Pearson they didn't have a coaching spot for him.
Oh,
Crazy as that sounds,
I
right?
remember CJ Jammers. I could see them
Yeah,
doing that. I could see them doing
CJ,
that.
yeah. Coach
I could see
Pearson lived
Pearson them doing that.
yeah, from Plainfield, moved to Piscataway. He was coaching the women's softball. He had a van. He was like, man, I need to do something in the spring, when softball wasn't going on because it was like a summer thing at fall. I mean. So he was like, his son was coming of age, and he said he went to the CJ Jammers, and they were like, nah, we don't have no spots. He was like, I want to help. Nah, we got no spots. So he was like, you know what? I'll do it myself. And in
Mm.
1995, 1996, he grabbed Andre Dabney's kid named Najee Calhoun, Eric Wilkins that went to Miami, and they just start practicing at the Y. It was like $100, and he always joked with me, and he'll be like, I remember one of the parents called me like, "What is this $100 for? Are you buying cars and all this stuff with the money and blah blah blah?" And she was like, I mean, he was like $100, like it's like what I'm gonna do with $1,000, and the tournament is
Mm.
125 to play in. But that was in '95, and then I came the following year, and it was funny how it all started. So I was at King. I went to King with you,
Mhm.
and with Victor Webb and them, and then I went home. Something happened, family matters. I couldn't go back to school, so I was looking for something to do. Malcolm Mills, God bless his soul. he saw me and was like, T-Bone, you want to coach AAU? I know this guy coaching, he has practice at Maxon and at the Buff in Plainfield. So
Mm.
I walked up to him. I was like, I want to coach. So Coach Pearson was like so many people, you know how it is. People say they're gonna help you, but they never really help.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
he was like, he looked at me and was like, we have a meeting on Tuesday at Plainfield High, 7 o'clock. And I was like, okay. So Tuesday come, he said he was in there having a meeting, and he saw me riding up on a bike. He ain't tell me what room. Plainfield High is a big gym, a big school. So I parked my bike, I locked it, I walked in the gym. He was like, from that moment, he knew I was gonna be around for a while. And again,
Mm.
that was a very long time ago.
Now,
So
who name some of these dudes on these? I see some of these dudes I recognize a little. Give me some of the breakdowns of the couple. I see a J.R. Smith. Who else y'all had on here,
yeah,
bro?
so we got J.R. Smith in the picture. He played with us for a full
Mm.
season. Then it was obvious that it was time for him to move on. So he went. Yeah, we made the call. Oh, I shouldn't say made the call. His father, his family is beautiful. Mother, father, sister, beautiful family. So they was like, because they was playing with Frank Berg in the All Stars, but
I
Coach
remember that.
Pearson coaching, helping Frank Berg, and Jr.'s father used to drive him to Plainfield every Tuesday and Thursday, and
Wow.
he'd bring him to Plainfield. So that's Jr. right there. He played one whole season. Um, in this picture in the red, the guy all the way at the bottom is that kid will end up becoming a first team All American, played at Binghamton, and a professional basketball player. That's Mike Gordon right there. He doesn't look like what he is now, but and then
Mm.
to his left is Andre Dabney, who also played ball overseas
Mm.
um, with the Sonics jersey. Uh, that's Chim Okiyama right there in that other picture. To the
Mm.
left, second one to the left, he played with us like 5, 6 years. Um, he was at Lincoln this past year. Then he moved to, I think he's transferring. Then we got in the bottom picture, we got Jamarcus Lawrence, who
Mm.
is now at Rhode Island, played at Nebraska. And we also have Tajay Kelton in that picture, who's at Wagner. And I don't know if that's Jordan
Over
Durkach.
here
I'm
on
not.
the right here, with it looked like Anthony Nelson and Earl Clark.
Oh, yes. So, to the right, I'm sorry, to the right, that's Anthony Nelson. Then with the kid with the headband is Anthony Davis, who played for the
Oh,
49ers.
and that's not Earl Clark. That's Anthony Davis that played
No,
for
no.
St. Pat's.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, no. That's his brother. That was Andre Davis that
Yeah,
played
the
for the Packers.
strong one. The strong.
Yes,
Yeah, I
yes.
remember him. I remember him. Wow, that's a
That's
throwback.
his little brother that played for the San Francisco 49ers.
Wow.
Yeah, and then and the crazy story with him, he insisted on going to St. Pat, insisted on it. I looked at him, I was like, Ant, you're gonna make a lot of money
I
playing
remember
football.
I remember how big
Yeah,
he was.
yeah, eighth grade going to ninth. He wanted to go to school with his brother. And I'm like, nah, the way you move, your size, you need to play football. He ended up going to Piscataway because his family moved from Irvington to Piscataway. And he ended up being All American, played for Rutgers, and had a 7, 8 year career with the 49ers. And then
Mm.
that's Earl Clark to the right. Was Mike
Right
Gordon
here?
again? Yeah, yeah. Earl Clark is the kid in the last picture on the right, on the bottom, all the way to the right. That's Earl Clark.
Wow.
Yeah, that's Earl. But he only played like that was a practice we were in Piscataway. And when I tell you from this picture to his eighth grade year, he went from about 5'10" to about 6'6" over one summer. His knees was killing him. He couldn't move. Couldn't move.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
So
Yeah, then he when he played with the Road Runners at first, didn't the players.
yes.
I had saw Sandy at a game. I'm trying to get him on too. I'm trying to get Sandy
Okay.
on him too.
Yeah.
Indeed,
And then the
indeed.
top right is John Allen Jordan. God bless his soul. And then to the left is Jamal Lane. They both went on to the NAIA championship together, Campbellsville. Them
Mm.
three and Sekou Harris. I'm almost certain Jamal was on that team also.
Indeed. Now let's talk about day squad with Haas. Haas squad kind of like went to that next level with my tournaments when it started to
Yes.
kick off. Like,
Yes.
and then they was talk about that team a little bit because they was the crew that kind of propelled y'all into those
Yeah.
championship
The
years.
top. Yeah. What we like to call taking pictures on Sunday. Because most teams they
Mm.
play on Saturday and then
Mm-hmm.
Sunday they don't come back. So we would travel places and, we'll be 0-2, but we still went because Coach Pearson had a thing. Whether you win or lose, you still go. But Sekou, John, Jamal, Quentin, DeCozy, all these kids, they just started refusing to lose. They just had this mantra, and Hassan would be on them. Haas is from East Orange originally. Matter of fact, he might be Trenton too. Yeah, Haas is strong.
Right there.
Yes, that's my brother. That's my brother. And he would always be on them, always on them, always on them. And then they just started building this refuse to lose. Like every game they was in, they didn't care who they were playing. Grant Belmire with the Hornets, it didn't matter. They were gonna play hard and hoop. And like you said, that's the group that put MSU on the map. Now, don't get me wrong, we had teams prior to them that had a few good players, but when it comes to a team, like you said, to start winning championships, taking pictures on Sundays.
They used to bang out with the CJ Hawks.
CJ
Hawks team and them used to bang out all my tournaments in the championship. Exactly. They used to be banging out. They used to be banging out. I got a flashback joint of one of my first big tournament, bro. I'm gonna see if you remember this joint right here, bro. I got, I'll be having some things right here, bro. I'm gonna see if you remember this joint right here, bro. Look at my boy, no man, I heard you right there, boy.
That's Herb Donaldson, yeah. Yeah, they was scrapping. Look at the sweat of the pants. See how big the pants were. Man, look at you, Mike. Yo, that's big right there. Wow, where you get that from? You had that store?
Hey, Hardcore got mad videos, bro. We got stuff in the stash, huh? We got mad stuff in the stash, man. I thought you would get a kick out of that, man. Y'all always showed man love, man. Y'all always came down and brought it. MSU was definitely in the building, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. I told you I played in Plainfield for a church league. That's when I was at my peak of basketball, 14 years old. After that, I tanked out. That was at my peak. I played in the league. Y'all had Calvary Church, and I think it was Shiloh or something like that. They was burgundy. Calvary was like sky blue.
Sky blue.
We was balling at this league up there and stuff. And they used to come to Trenton, and then I peaked after that though. But that was my balling up in Plainfield, man. But Haas, all y'all boys, man, y'all always came down, man. Now let's get to the next joint, man. We got Plainfield High School basketball. Take me to how the games was, how it was inside there. Like, what was the thing about it, bro?
What you talking about with Sekou now?
No, just Plainfield basketball inside there, period.
Well, let me just say this: the Rico Peretti Gymnasium is unique when it's built, right? It has bleachers on the side and there's bleachers behind. Most high schools don't have bleachers like that behind the basket. And we have a fan base. Our fan base is not really student-led. Our fan base is like former players, teachers,
that's how
the community type thing. Yeah, so you like when you come to a Plainfield game, you're gonna hear a whole bunch of stuff. You're gonna hear people coaching, you're gonna hear people wrestling, you're gonna hear people arguing, everything. I mean, but it makes a unique cesspool of basketball knowledge. Because again, you have guys that played in the 70s, they coming back. We have guys, like I said, Mike Gordon played. Mike Gordon was all state, his father was all state, and his son, well, we'll talk about him later, but it's like a tradition in Plainfield. So we've had times where teams from the past, as the team is leaving leaving to halftime, guys would be standing there like getting on the kids like, yo, y'all not playing with that Plainfield pride. Like teams don't just come here and do this, do that. Like, so the kids know that it's like you're playing for tradition because and like I said, the community, the tradition doesn't graduate. We don't care how old you are. You got to go out there and hoop and play with some Plainfield pride. And Plainfield was actually named the top gym to watch a game at in Central Jersey, even though some people say we're North Jersey. that whole thing where Central
Mhm,
Jersey
mhm.
was North Jersey, that whole thing. But Plainfield was voted for the Courier News to be the best gym to watch a high school game. So it's very intense in there, but it's always friendly. It's never no violence, and I mean, stuff happens, but it's usually taken care of quicker. But I love my
Y'all,
team.
y'all definitely had a fan base. I used to see y'all a lot. I came there a couple times, but I saw
Mhm.
y'all like it on the Union County tournament runs, and
Yeah.
especially when my man used to do the smoke
Oh
thing.
yeah. That's
When
Buggy.
I
Yeah.
saw y'all play Linden at Linden, and that
Yeah. Yeah.
was crazy. Like when Ant
Yeah.
was playing, and I was covering for Metro Hoops, things was getting crazy. Then
Oh
it
yeah.
was it was it was it was a joyful time watching y'all, man. You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
then talk about when the 2000s hit. Y'all had a little run in 2004. Talk about that team a little bit where they lost. And who was
Yeah.
on
So
that
the
team?
two the 2004 group was which was the group that we say brought their lunch pail and their hard hat to each game.
Mm,
When you look back on the teams that made it to like sectional championships and state finals, that group would probably finish last when it comes to levels of skill and what kids went to college and what have you. But when I tell you like Lamar Clary, Mike Gordon, AP, Antoine Patterson, Dana
mm,
Hart. We had like Dana Hart played at Rhode Island. Uh, Daniel Davis played at UConn. These were football players. But just imagine having some tough, hard-nosed inner city football players on the basketball court with kids like AP, which was one of the best guards in playing history, and Mike Gordon, who ended up going to Binghamton. So that
mm,
team just played hard. The score, no lie, the score would be 35-29. And that's
mm,
unheard of in high school basketball. But
mm,
Coach Parham coached at Pitt, and Kevin Stansberry, he was the assistant coach. They just preached defense, defense, defense. Like the offense will come, I'll give you the freedom to do what you need to do on offense, but you're going to play defense every possession. And that's how Mike
mm.
Gordon coaches the kids now. Every possession you have to play defense. But obviously the game has changed so much from then
100%,
to now.
100%,
But Mike
100%.
Gordon is definitely the right guy that pushes that defensive uh, note to the kids, and it helps to have Mr. Griggs there and Pitt, who's a police officer in Plainfield, and our Plainfield basketball staff is top notch. So
How did it feel coming up short again since y'all didn't win it before? I mean, y'all went to the championships, but y'all didn't have a title since like '83, and then to get there in 2004 and lose. Like, how did that feel?
yeah, that was a tough pill to swallow because again, we just felt we were gonna like obviously playing North Jersey, and pardon me if I say this, and I don't want to make anybody mad, but we have a North Jersey thing. We feel as though when we play a team from South Jersey, we're gonna
Talking, bro. Talking,
yeah.
bro. You ain't gotta
That's
apologize. Talking talk. You
I'm
ain't
just
gotta
saying,
apologize.
bro, everybody knows this Mr. Nice Guy, but I'm gonna talk my
No,
talk,
talk your junk. Talk your
bro.
talk, huh?
This is how we feel. I'm just gonna let everybody in on how North Jersey people feel. When we play a South Jersey team, we're gonna win automatically. So when we got down to that uh, game against Lenape, we had no idea they had a future NBA player, Jason Thompson. Like we didn't even know who the hell he was. We coming out like, who the hell is this joker like 6'10",
Who they had?
handle
Dan Miller?
Jason Thompson and
Oh, Jason
some other
Thompson.
guy. Yeah, Jason
Ooh.
Thompson. Yeah,
Ooh.
man, jeez. So that we learned then we had to respect South Jersey. That was we got a lesson there. But after that, and then 2007 we had another good team under Pete Vassell with
I remember
Anthony
that. I
Nelson.
remember when he came.
Yeah, Anthony Nelson, Jarrell Thompson, Andre Rose. We had a couple guys. I probably should stop naming everybody because I know I'm gonna forget someone. But we had a good team. But to be honest with you, 2007 is probably like that's when the parochial schools and the charter schools they would start taking our better players.
Oh,
That's
we
what
gonna
took
get
us.
there. We gonna get
Oh,
there. We
okay,
gonna
all
get
right,
there.
we'll
We
talk
gonna
about
get
that.
there. We gonna
But
get
yeah,
there.
but Aunt
Yeah.
Nelson knows. Yeah, Aunt Nelson was good. They actually beat Elizabeth, or was it Linden? Oh, my brother killed me because he's the football historian. I'm the basketball historian. But we played the team 3 times. They moved the game to Elizabeth. It should have been in Plainfield, but our AD decided to move the game to Elizabeth, and then they beat us. So that's how Aunt Nelson then lost. It was
Mm.
a beat the team 3 times all year. 3 times, 2 times in the states. I mean, in the regular season, another time in the counties, and then they beat us in the states. That's why I don't believe in teams ducking competition because again, in Plainfield, every night you got to play somebody. Plainfield, Linden, Plainfield, Elizabeth, Linden.
I
We
remember
usually
how it
play
was.
yeah, we play each other 4 times, so we're used to playing good public school basketball. So when I see coaches duck and smoke and don't want to play, I'll be like, come on, man. Like, oh, we'll beat them
Indeed,
in the playoffs. We'll meet them in the state. Like that's BS to me.
indeed. So then Haas bunch get a little older, and then they start making the historic run. And then in 2010, y'all came up short again against
Yeah.
Cherokee. But
Cherokee,
this
yeah.
group, take me to
Yeah.
that moment up at the rack. And I know it was bitter, but did y'all know y'all had something?
We knew we had something. We knew I'll tell you when we knew we had something. So
Okay.
every year we made it one step further, right? Every year.
Mm.
We lost in Elizabeth, I mean we lost in the section. Then we lost in the states. Then we made it to Rutgers. We lost to Cherokee. So after this year,
I
Tyrone,
remember
who
y'all
was
was making the
junior,
moves.
yeah, with making Tyrone Johnson transferred to Montrose. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously, you lose your best player, things can go haywire. So we like, man. But again, we had that group that you saw coming up. They were sophomores. Sekou, Dijon, Jamal Lane, Justin Sears. They were just ballers. They refused to lose. So that they actually started the Banner Boys the year after this loss. So this
Banner
loss
Boys. I
actually,
like that.
yeah,
Let's talk to
that's
Banner Boys. I like that
oh
name.
yeah,
That's
we got
hot.
a name for them. They the Banner Boys. Every
Indeed.
time and whenever one of them come in the gym, I announce that a Banner Boy is in the building. I'm the
Wow.
announcer of the Plainfield, yeah.
The
So I
Banner
always give them
Boys.
their flowers and there's a couple of them that was on this team and be like, yo, we Banner Boys too, even though they didn't, because they won a sectional, but they didn't win the whole thing. But
Yeah, they ain't win that real thing, baby.
they ain't
They
win the
ain't win
real thing. Yeah, yeah.
that. All right, let's get to the next year.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all won that
This is the
state
state.
title
Yes,
2011, man, over
yes,
Burlington Township.
yes.
Talk
Burlington
about that
Town.
moment when y'all finally
Oh,
cut the nets down, bro.
bro, let me just. Well, first off, again, as a avid Plainfield fan, many people, I know the people in Linden and Elizabeth, they probably won't say this to our face, but we understand. So what you're looking at is the Group 3 state champions, right?
Mm.
But in our parts, we all look at Group 4. Like that's the big boys.
Mm.
That's you stop with the big boys when you win Group 4. But unfortunately,
Mm.
like I said, with the charter schools and our enrollment dipped, we ended up being Group 3. But what they won't tell you is we still mop the floor with them during the regular season. So it didn't matter
Whoa,
what
okay.
group.
So they say y'all group 3 champs, so they don't want to
Yeah,
give y'all props, but head to head, y'all still smack them around.
we still smacked them around. Yeah, but we was again. This game is actually at the old the Meadowlands. One of the last games played there.
Mm-hmm.
The runner up TLC when the TLC was
Indeed,
around.
indeed,
Yeah,
indeed,
and that's the
indeed.
TLC. But I think Dijon got hurt. One game Dijon got hurt, and then the following year Justin Sears got hurt.
Now,
And
what happened? How was the celebration and
oh
playing
oh
field that night when
oh,
y'all won
I'm sorry.
the first state
I'm
title since
sorry.
like '83?
Yeah, yeah. So let me because I'm jumping to the TLC. You're right. So that state championship game, I mean, the whole city of Plainfield was at the rack. The
Wow.
entire city. I actually have pictures. I probably should have sent them to you. I was just capturing pictures in the crowd because I'm like, it's gonna happen. Like we felt as though it was gonna finally happen. And when
Wow.
that ball, when the game was over, Lenny Cathcart, he was on the board at the time. He went running on the court. The security guard told him, "You can't go on the court. You gotta go." But he was like, "Man, I won a state title in '76. I'm on this court." So the game was over. It was just elation. The only regret I have is that we didn't meet the team back at oh, Coach Greg said, Coach Greg, I got you, Coach Greg. Uh, we didn't meet the team back at the school. But when I tell you we celebrated at Rutgers, it was beautiful. Lenny left. We brought kids because that's one of our things. We bring kids to the game, and he actually left one of the kids. One of the kids
Wow.
left him at Rutgers. We had to go back and get him. But we were just such on a high, man. It was amazing. because at that time it was so many years prior. Like I think it was 76, the last time Plainfield won a state title before that 2011 team cut the Nets down.
Indeed, man. Indeed, man.
Yeah.
Then the Banner Boys took it back to back. Talk
Yes.
about
Oh
it,
my
man.
God. Yeah, this was awesome. So this is another one. Like I said, Group 3, and we were playing Asbury. And Asbury was 25-4. But again, we knew like our whole thing was we want St. Anthony's. Like the state championship.
Oh, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Yeah. We wanted St. Anthony. And St. Anthony's knew. That year, actually, we played St. Anthony's at Plainfield High, a 7 o'clock tip. Mike, the game was sold out at 4:15. Jimmy Seven, Nike rep players, Legacy. He had to call me like, they won't let me in. I said, Jim, come to the side door. You know, every school got that free door. You know what I'm saying? I said, come to the side door. I'll get you in, Jim. Got him in. But it was just crazy. And even Collins and all them, they knew they were going to play us again. But that right there, that picture right there was in they were in Toms River. That year they moved the Group 3 to Toms River, which I think they tweaked it a little bit now. But who was that? I'm trying to see who was in that picture. Yeah, that's Coach Zabreski, Coach of the Year. He was actually Coach of the Year that year too. Oh, one of the ball boys right there. He ended up being a pretty good basketball player for Plainfield too back in the late like 2017. Daquan Mullins. Yeah, but like I said, they just refused to lose. And this is the team. A lot of our kids, which like you said, you were going to get into. A lot of our kids that were at the Catholic schools, they came home. Taylor Plummer, Mod, he was at St. Benedict's. Number 2, Andrew, he was at St. Benedict's. Those kids came home. They set the 30 days. Taylor was at St. Pat's. So, like I said, whenever our kids are home, we're gonna win state championships. But like I said, I'm talking my talk. I'm just saying.
No doubt. Hey man, we gonna get to it. We gonna get to it. You know, I did my research. We gonna get to it. All right.
Because hold on, I don't want to cut you off because our foundation is so strong in Plainfield. And a lot of teams, a lot of towns ask like, how does this happen? But it starts with, like I said, Lenny Caspar with the through the powder up. He was the head of division of recreation for basketball in Plainfield. And then myself, Hassan, Prince Graham, AO, Wayne Griffin, my brother, Philip Pender, like our staff, Calvin Hill, Scott Monroe. I'm trying not to forget nobody. We had such a strong, like we gave the kids a strong foundation, and it built from that. And it's still going to this day. I mean, I'm happy to say I have a rec league in Plainfield, and we still producing players. Oh, my brother corrected me. We was playing.
Yeah, y'all played Neptune in the championship. Correction.
Yeah, Neptune. It beat
Neptune in the back-to-back.
We beat Neptune. Asbury Park was the TFC game. I'm sorry. Yeah, see, I told you. See, I ain't know my brother was watching. Now I got to be right.
You know he's gonna watch you. What's up, Chad? You know he's gonna watch you. Yeah, now, like you said, y'all went back to back. Now, y'all had to see these dudes both years. Now, my question is.
Yes, sir.
Did y'all ever think y'all could really win?
I put it like this. That first year, we wasn't sure. I don't. But again, you ask the kids. You ask Sekou, Jamal, Dijon. You ask any of them, Justin. They felt as though they could beat anyone. So we as fans, we had no choice but to believe because what they did. And like I said, and losing Ty when he transferred to Montrose, who actually went on to win a state title. I mean, win a national championship, which was a great move for him. It left us like in a bond, like, man, what do we have? But those kids, that group, just bonded together, and just they refused to lose. But I'll tell you this: St. Anthony's got lucky because Patterson Catholic closed, and if Kyle Anderson and Miles Mack were still at Patterson Catholic, they wouldn't have been at St. Anthony, and we would have beat them that second year. We would have beat them. But again, Justin got hurt that game. The first game, Dijon got hurt. The second game, Justin got hurt.
Now, coaching wise, did you feel that your coach came prepared and he had confidence that he could win? Because I seen a lot of guys coach against early, and they gave him too much respect. I only saw a couple dudes that really wanted to beat him, that really
Yeah,
felt they could beat him. A lot of
yeah,
guys were just in there waiting to take that punch and then happy that they played the game. You get what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
I ain't
Because
really see that many dudes that really wanted to beat him.
yeah, I'll give you this because the stigma with the tournament of champions, which some people believe, some people don't. Your last game, if you're a champion, you should win. You should win your last game. So the tournament of champions was abolished in my mind because they felt as though champions teams are losing, they lost focus of it, what have you. But when I tell you that uh, Jeff Lebreski, Plainfield's former coach, who's actually at Johnson now, he prepared the team every game. The adjustments he made, his style of coaching, and he had Mike Gordon on the bench with him along with Ben Martinez, Danny Del Val, who was played for Linden, and it was Clint. So he had a staff that was just strong. So he was the mild mannered one, and then he had I'm just gonna say the firecrackers, the point guards that play hard and that'll cuss a kid out. But when I tell you Jeff Lebreski, who I feel as though our trophy case should be named after, but that's a whole nother
Mm.
subject I'll get to. Maybe probably not on this platform, but he won so many championships and he prepared our kids like no other. So yes, the answer to your question is yes. I believe wholeheartedly he was coaching and we wanted to win those games because we would have been the first public school to win a TSC since Orange did it back in like '94. Like I don't even think another public school won it.
No, Camden won it.
Oh. Wait, what year was that? That was after that.
No, Camden won. What year was? No, Camden won like 2000. Then Wagner won it like 2003, I think, somewhere around there. Camden won
Okay.
it.
Yeah. I'm going back too far. I'm thinking of Orange.
Yeah,
With,
Camden beat Seton Hall Prep.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, Camden beat
ain't too
Seton
many
Hall Prep.
public schools that won it. So.
All right, now the seat about to get hot for you a little bit, bro.
Oh, nah. See, never can get hot talking to you, bro.
All right, let's talk it then. Let's
go.
Give me your Cardinals all-time starting five.
Oh, damn. Well, I thought the seat couldn't get hot, but I guess it can. All-time
starting five. You get five. You get five all-time starting. Your all-time starting five lineup.
Well, I'm a shock a couple people. Oh my God! Like, well, it starts again. You talking about who I saw it, right? Because I can't go by who I didn't see. I can't. So no disrespect to anyone that played in the '70s. This is not. I can't talk about those guys. But if you talk about 80, 88 to now, I have to start with Derek Johnson. Like I said, he went to Virginia, all-time leading scorer, Plainfield. Got to start with him.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, Mike, you're gonna get me in so much trouble, bro.
Hey man, it is what it is. That's what we on here for, baby. Let's get at it.
Oh my God. Secondly, I'm going with Justin Sears because Justin Sears, he averaged a double-double. He rebounded. He scored 1,000 points, got 1,000 rebounds, and he just played hard. So Justin's in the middle. I have to go with Andre Dabney. Andre Dabney was worth the price of admission. I've never seen a kid that fast with the ball, can shoot, can do whatever it was, and he refused to lose. Again, 5'6", went on with the college, with the Bloomfield All-American, ended up playing 8 years overseas. He's actually on the coaching staff helping Plainfield now. JV made it to the JV championship. So I'm gonna put Dre on that team.
Mm-hmm.
My next two, bro, you gonna Mike? I gotta get two more.
Two out.
Two more. If I'm going with senior season and the senior year he had, it would be Mike. I will put Mike Gordon on that list because Mike Gordon had oh my God, his senior year he scored like 500 something points.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
he
Mike.
scored 500 something points. And the last one, man, y'all gonna think I'm crazy. Y'all gonna. I'm putting. It's hard to do this. But 3 years from now, y'all gonna look back on this video and be like, "Bone was right." I will put that freshman, Michael Glory, on that team just because of what he did already.
Cardinals, no Ant Nelson, no Ty Johnson.
No Ant Nelson,
no
Ty
Jamel, no
Johnson,
Jarrell Thompson.
Terrell, Jamal,
Yo,
they cool,
Tito went
bruh.
crazy on him. All
Ah,
right, so listen
God,
up. We just get
yeah,
started. We just get
yeah,
started. The next
yeah.
joint up, you get to do all Plainfield. It don't have to be just the Cardinals. People from Plainfield, Mount
Bruh,
Rushmore.
what are you doing to me here, man?
Now
You
you get
know
four slots.
huh?
4 slots. High school, college players for all for Plainfield. They don't have to be Plainfield Cardinals, just Plainfield, period. You get 4 slots. Who you got?
Plainfield. We talking boys, right? Not girls.
Boys.
Okay. Mm. If I was to go on all 4 years of career, I'm gonna start with Simeon Welter.
Mm.
I'm putting Sim on there. I'm putting. See again, these are the guys that I saw play. No disrespect to anybody that made all state and all that back in the '70s. Oh my God, out of towners, man, this is tough, bro. I mean, I probably have to go back to Plainfield with
It's your world,
Justin.
bro.
Yeah,
It's your
Justin.
world.
I'm putting Justin up there. I'm putting
Okay.
Simeon up there. Uh, I I gotta put Jamarcus on there.
Okay.
I gotta
That's
put
one
Jamar
more.
on there. And the last one will probably be one of the guys I just mentioned. Uh, so it was Mike. It was Mike, Justin. Oh, Derek. My bad. Derek Johnson.
Derek Johnson. All right, all
Derek Johnson.
right, all right.
Bro, I'm
Mike Gordon
sweating, man.
said,
You right.
Mike Gordon said Jay Williams.
Oh my God. See, this is what I'm talking about. The
Ray
hot seat.
said Earl Clark.
Hot seat.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, you
See, I
wilding
should
on
have my
here.
cheat
You
sheet.
wilding on
Let me
here.
start over.
All right, guess
Let me
what?
start over. Let me
Now you
start over.
can't All right. All right.
I
Next up
forgot
is
all
the hot
about
seat,
this.
baby. All right,
Yeah.
now, with all the success and everything that went on, you guys had a lot of success. You know, sometimes we all go through things, man.
Yeah.
Talk about the impact. Oh, no, matter of fact, my bad. The best player ever.
From Plainfield?
Yeah.
I gotta go with Earl. I'm upset that I forgot Earl. I apologize, Earl, but I would have to go with Earl right now. If you or Jay Williams, because Jay Williams' career got cut short. If Jay Williams would have had the career, if you talking about college back, I'm gonna say Jay Williams. But if you talk about professional NBA and everything, you can't deny what Earl did. Whether it was at Louisville and then NBA. I mean, he played with Kobe. He stuck
So
around.
you
He's
got
still
Earl
playing to
Clark as
this
the
day.
best player ever to come from Plainfield.
Right now that I saw. Because again,
As you saw, I respect that. I respect
yeah,
that.
because the 70s, they're gonna say Noki Johnson. It was a guy named Noki Johnson that passed away. That was at FDU. Then there's a guy named Kenny Fields who played at who Clint Jones talking about crazy. Who, see, this is what I'm saying. Everybody knows me as the nice guy. You giving me these questions. I'm just happy to be alive to support Plainfield. Not everybody gonna be coming for me. I don't know what else to say. Earl, you can't. I need somebody to tell me a better player for Plainfield that wasn't Jay Williams and from college back, and then Earl from college on.
Indeed.
Yeah,
All
come on,
right,
man.
You got Earl Clark as the best ever. All right.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting to my next thing. Like I said, we go through some things in life, you know what I'm saying? This and that. And what was the impact? And take me to the moment when you got the news about this, brother.
this was this was a very, very challenging weekend, right?
Mm,
So that Friday, because obviously I have to give all three of them their due whenever I speak of them. So on that Friday, uh, a young man named Rufus that played football for Plainfield, he passed away from some health reasons, right?
mm,
And he was real friends. He was good friends with my daughter, so he passed away. We're already like mourning, coping with that, right? So then that was on a Saturday. Sunday come around, and uh, another kid who was probably the best defender in Plainfield, named Mike Price, he
mm,
was tragically murdered in the city of Plainfield.
mm,
Uh, he died on Sunday, right? So I can't say I can almost be certain, but from what people tell me, we were having a candlelight vigil on that Sunday, where Mike grew up at, and they said John actually came by that candlelight vigil. That, but it was
mm,
a rainy day. Sunday night was rainy, and they said he left the visual and then he went, and I guess he got on 27 driving and he slipped. And, I mean, his car skid, and obviously he passed away from the injuries from that accident.
mm,
But so when people were calling me, I figured they were calling me to talk about Mike Price, and then my friend Prince was like, "Bone, did you hear? Did you hear?" And I'm like, "What you talking about?" "Yeah, Mike and Rufus." But he's like, "No, D. John." I'm like, "Nah, Dijon, what?" Like, Dijon passed away, man. I'm trying to call his father. He answered the phone, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, man, it was late. I was like, nah, that didn't happen, bro. Like, come on, people just talking. And then
mm,
Prince and his father, Amazing, are real good friends. So Amazing called him back and was like, yo, it's true. He gone. And that just put me in such a dark spot because it was like these are three kids from the city who put on for the city, could have went anywhere and played. Mike, like I said, Mike played for Kyrie Irving. Dijon could have went to any Catholic school in the area, but Dijon was like, no, I'm playing for Plainfield because actually Sekou started out at St. Anthony's, I think.
mm,
I want to say he started out at St. Anthony's, and he came back home, and Dijon was like, "Nah, we stand together. Like we gonna stay together. We gonna put Plainfield on the map." And like I said, when he passed away, because there was, and the crazy part is, Dijon wasn't the best player on the team. He wasn't the best scorer. He was obviously. I just talked about Justin grabbing 1,000 rebounds, so he probably wasn't the best rebounder. But when we talk about heart, passion, desire, commitment to winning. Like he would be in the huddles, like we ain't losing. Like he would be the one, like we're not losing this game. We work too hard. Like I always think of Ed Reed when that clip when he coming out the locker room and he was like, I'm
mm,
putting my life on the line and y'all out
mm,
here playing around. And mind you, Miami was winning like 42-0 at that point.
mm,
That was Dijon was. He just had so much heart. He believed Plainfield. He bled Plainfield. He loved Plainfield. And like I said, that was just so hurtful. That was a weekend that it put Plainfield in a very dark cloud over our city. So, but may all
mm,
three of those brothers rest in peace.
mm.
So
Now, I remember calling you once I saw it, man, and because I knew that hit hard, and I remember the young fella when I used to see him in my tournaments. I felt out of all of the kids, his upside was crazy
oh
because
my
the way that
God.
his body was and how long he was and all that kind of stuff. I felt that his upside was through the roofs, man. You know what I mean? I had
Exactly.
honored him on one of the episodes I did earlier on the
Mm,
podcast. You know what I mean? And always was a nice kid, man, soft spoken, but used to
yes.
get busy, man. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Rest
Just
in
get
peace,
on
young
that court.
brother. Rest in
Yeah,
peace,
because
young
even
brother.
he one of the I forgot what Coach Zabreski, matter of fact, when they were in like ninth, 10th grade, he would always tell Prince, like Dijon's gonna be the best out of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be like, what? Like, man, you see Justin Sekou and had 17 in the freshman game and Jamal Lane, like,
Mm-hmm.
but he would be like, no, Dijon has that it. He has that
Mm-hmm.
motor. He doesn't
Mm-hmm.
stop. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a like that. That's an attribute to basketball. A lot of these kids don't have.
Mm-hmm.
He gets after it each and every play. He gets after it. So he had that motor. And as a kid, and even like I said, it took him overseas, played 5, 6 years, then he came back home. and he was on our coaching staff. When he passed away after the basketball season in May.
Rest in peace, young fella. Rest in peace, young fella.
Yes,
now, bro, it's time to get at why I had to give you your flowers and all of that.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Now we about to talk about some things, man.
All right, just me and you. Just me and you. What's good, bro? Yes, sir.
I have a list of the top players who never went to Plainfield or who never went to or left Plainfield High School. Now, these players on my list are Earl Clark, who went to Louisville, NBA, Jay Williams, Napier Louise, CJ Wilshire, Derek Gordon. Then I have Miles Davis. Tyrone Johnson went there, then he left. Jamarcus went there, then he left. Hold up. Jamarcus went there, then he left. And Isaiah Epps. Now, my question to you.
Yes, sir.
All these kids went mostly high major. You get what I'm saying? Now, what makes you believe that this would have happened if they would have stayed at Plainfield? And if you believe that, where's the evidence of that this type of thing could happen if they stayed at Plainfield? Or do you think they were just better than the other kids that stayed from birth?
They were better. Like I give you a perfect example. A kid like Tyrone Johnson. Tyrone Johnson, when he was 5, he was playing against the 9 and 10-year-olds in rec. Every kid in this picture, besides Jamarcus, who was a little bit younger, they all played in our rec program, and Jay may not have played. So can you imagine Earl playing against Derek Gordon or Tyrone Johnson against Miles Davis and Chase Plummer, who's another kid that played for Plainfield that went to UMBC? They were all in the same age group. In every game, it would be packed, and these 10, 11-year-olds would just be going at it. So I was telling you about that foundation, they got that at an early age. The intensity of playing in a hostile environment every Saturday morning, they got that in the Plainfield rec department. So we saw this coming. Now the thing was, would they stay in Plainfield? Would they go to Plainfield public schools? And obviously, they all have their reasons for leaving. And I myself, I will support you whether you're at Plainfield or you at whatever school. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna support you because I'm rooting for everything and everyone that's from my city. But if they were all in Plainfield, bro, it won't be fair. And again, I'm gonna talk my.
I'm not talking about whether would it be fair. I'm talking about from development and exposure. Would they have went to these schools?
Oh yeah, because at the end of the day, it didn't really matter what high school they were at. They were still gonna get it. I mean, Isaiah Epps received that scholarship offer at Pitt. He received that in a Plainfield uniform. Tyrone Johnson, the Villanova offer, he got that in Plainfield. Jamarcus Lawrence, while he didn't get the Nebraska offer in a Plainfield uniform, he started getting attention. You know what I'm saying? But when he went and played for New Heights, that's what got him on the map. So again, in my mind,
well, why did they leave? If they already had the offers there, why did they leave?
I mean, they all have their reasons. They all have their reasons. I mean, it's none of my business to say some of their reasons. You can ask them themselves, but they all had reasons why they had to leave or not come. You know what I'm saying? I and not even pointing out one of them. Those from Plainfield know who I'm talking about, and he'll tell you himself. One of the people in this pictures was someone who was going down the wrong path. And the group and the crew he was hanging with wasn't the right crew. So his father was like, man, you're not going to Plainfield. And they live by Plainfield. They live, bro, you can close his eyes and walk to Plainfield.
But so it's other factors. So it's other factors that play into the situation of what goes into it. So that's why when I used to tell you that, I don't know if the foundation and everything would have been there for them to actually get all of this stuff done. That's why I told you maybe it's some players that got to these levels that went all the way through y'all school. Them the players I want to know. So who are they that went all the way through without going to prep, without going to JUCO? Who y'all have that went all the way through?
That's Anthony Nelson. That's the 2007 guys. Anthony
Okay.
Nelson, Darrell Thompson, those guys, Jamal and John, they all went all the way through. Justin Sears, he played for Plainfield, but he went to the magnet school. Justin was very
Mhm,
smart. He actually
mhm,
could have went to Stanford, but Justin Sears at the time said, "I'm thinking about the next 40 years of my life, not the next 4 years." And that's crazy for a 17, 18-year-old to think like that. So that's why he went to Yale. You know what I'm saying? So he was at the magnet school, which allowed him to play for Plainfield. But again, like I said, the other kids on here, like Jay Williams, he never stepped foot in. Well, he may have went to Cedarbrook for a little bit, but he was always in Catholic schools. Miles' father had him in the Catholic school. So coming up, they were always in the Catholic school education. So it was hard for them to leave Catholic and then come to Plainfield. But now we have charter schools and we have different
mhm,
ways for
mhm.
kids to
Yeah,
play for Plainfield. Yeah. So,
yeah.
but that,
So I
but it,
remember Ant started out at St. Joe's, right?
yeah, Ant was at St. Joe's, but he
Mhm,
had to come
mhm,
home
mhm,
because
mhm, mhm.
again, a kid that's in public school the whole way through, and then they pivot and they go to those Catholic schools, they be in for a rude awakening sometime, and they may not be ready for it. So I'm not gonna say the best thing or the worst thing to happen, but in Anthony Nelson's case, and I could talk about him because that's my little brother, he had to understand the the importance of education, and he wasn't doing that at St. Joe's. He was just going to school thinking I can hoop, I'm good, I'm the best freshman here, I'm a play. And
Mike
those
Gordon said there was a lot of influence going on. That's what I'm talking about. Like what? Because you got to look at this situation. Like I'm, I'm looking at it, and y'all had a smorgasbord of talent right here.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
definitely.
Which brings me to my next question. You know what I'm saying? What do you think? And it's not, and I just use Mike Pitcher because he a Plainfield, a public school coach. So this not
Yeah.
questioning what Mike do or nothing like that. What are the duties you feel of a public school coach?
Well, the duties of a public school coach is one, uh, to teach the game of basketball, make sure the kids are getting the right grades. Those that want to go on to school, help them achieve that goal and push them towards that. However, which I already know where our conversation is going. However, there are so many limitations and barriers that are in place for our public school coaches, and I'm saying "our" because I love public school basketball.
Okay, okay, let's
There are
get there.
so
Let's
many,
get there.
yeah, there's so many barriers in place that's not there at the Catholic schools. Because again, the Catholic schools, they have to channel kids in and get kids in any way possible, whatever avenue they can get the kids to come in.
Mm-hmm.
And public schools, obviously, they're trying to fight to keep the kids coming, but off season is off season. They can't get caught. I give you another example. At some Catholic schools, the coach has a key to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
But if you call 10 public school coaches right now, 7 of them or 6 of them gonna be like, nah, my AD won't give me a key to the gym, or I don't have access to the gym. I can't go in
Mm-hmm.
there on a Saturday or Sunday. I can't do the things that keep the kids in town because I'm restricted, especially when you have an AD that's gonna be 1,000% by the book and don't want no
Mm-hmm.
drama. Not saying that some schools have it or some schools don't, but you do have ADs and superintendents and that will restrict their coaches from doing anything in the off season or what have you. You know, so that's a major problem that public schools have to deal with, where the Catholic schools they don't have those same problems.
But do you feel like that they're really putting the effort in terms of trying to make sure they keep the kids they got, and or if they have kids from their city that's going to parochial schools, are they trying to recruit them to come back? Are they going to the AAU tournaments? Are they putting that extra work in to really try to make their team what it is? Or are they sitting back crying about what everybody else doing?
Yeah. Well, I can speak on Plainfield High from 2024 to 1998, 7. Del Harrison. So obviously, there was a lot of coaches in that uh, in that 25-year span. So in Plainfield, we had coaches that said, "Man, I'm not doing all that. If a kid comes, they come." I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going after no guys. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
recruiting nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever comes in this gym is who I'm a coach. And
Mm-hmm.
I can respect that. And there were years when I would be like, bro, the Catholic school, like again, I do the clock. I'm at Max's school. I do the clocks. The I'll see, well, I don't want to say no names, but I'll see a prominent coach of a Catholic school at the gym. And they're sitting there talking with said kid's mother or father. And then I would go to our coach and be like, that school was here and they would talk to the coach. Did you talk to the parent yet? And they'll be like, nah, I'm gonna wait till the Max and Hubbard game. And I'll be like, bro, by that time it's too late. That
That's
kid is
my
already,
point.
yeah,
That's exactly what my point
that's what I'm
is.
saying, bro. But again, it's each coach. Some coaches will say we're not doing it. Some coaches they will. Now I'll give you Mike Gordon. Mike Gordon will
Mm-hmm.
talk with the coaches. He have a relationship with all of the eighth grade kids, the seventh graders, the ninth graders, and the kids that are not at Plainfield right now. And it's not that he's recruiting them to come back. It's not like he's having those conversations. Some of them may be saying like, Coach, I want to come back for X, Y, and Z. Like my mom don't want me to go to Plainfield. My mom, she don't think it's safe. So or she don't want me to go to the charter school. So, but those are conversations that has to be had. But he's laying the foundation. Like, look, like I'm gonna be here. I'm showing you what's gonna happen if you come home. You're gonna be a champion. We're gonna win something. I'm gonna get you in school. I'm gonna do all the things that's gonna to help you. But ultimately it's gonna be up to you. But again, he's doing the work. And like I said, not to put any other coaches out there in the past, they'll just be like, nah, whoever come, I'm coaching. And that's
Yeah,
why
and
we
that's
was
what I
losing,
wanted to get at. That's
bro.
what
We
I
was
wanted to get at.
losing kids left and right,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
coaches refuse to like I said, just have a conversation with or establish a relationship. Like I said, we got like 4 kids from Plainfield that's gonna be on the map. Uh, I'll throw their names out there if you want me. In the next 4 years, like I said, we're gonna watch this and y'all gonna be like, damn,
Don't do
that
that.
kid.
Don't do that. Because last time I remember you
Uh,
told me, and I quote, this was around COVID. Was it during COVID or before COVID?
uh,
You told me about that boy Jamarcus, and 2 weeks later he was gone. You told me.
yeah, bro. But
You
again,
said we got this sophomore that ain't nobody gonna get.
yeah. Now I thought he was home, but Mike, another perfect example of I am glad, I am happy. His mother is a beautiful woman. His brother, to this day, we still talk. He'll text me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that happened. And me and Serge, we have the best relationship in the world.
Oh,
Simeon
praise
and
it. Oh,
CJ's
praise
father, best relationship in the world because I understand Serge. Serge is the most misunderstood brother in the basketball community. If anyone just sat down and talked with Serge, they will understand where he's coming from, why he moved, how he moved, and you'll have a perspective that a lot of people don't see. So he helped, he assisted. Jamarcus transferring to Roosevelt Catholic was the best thing for Jamarcus Lawrence. I'll leave it at that.
Indeed.
I'll
Now,
leave it at
now I want to get to this part because I want to know your opinion on this. A lot of times the public school coaches get the rap of kids not being able to go to school after they graduate. When you talk about a lot of public school coaches, especially in the inner city,
that.
the first thing out of a lot of fans' mouths is you don't get nobody in school. You don't get nobody in school. Now,
Yeah.
do you feel more should be done from their end, or are they getting a bad rap because of the kid home circumstances or the kid not getting that support from other places, and everybody's putting the blame on the public school coach?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are putting the blame on the public school because it's a holistic approach, I like to call it. So
Okay,
everyone plays a
okay,
part. Everyone plays a part. You can't just say because when something go wrong and you want to point the finger at the head coach, it's not really all his fault. You have AAU coach, you have the parents, you have the guidance counselor, you have the athletic director. Because
okay,
it's all a cesspool. If everyone's working for the greater good of that student athlete, he's going to get what's for him. Now, some kids, though, they don't have realistic, like they think they're better than they are, so to
mm-hmm,
speak.
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm,
they want to go to Duke, or they see, or they'll say, if I go to Union Catholic, I'm going to this school. And we'll
mm-hmm.
look at them like, that's not how that works. If you go to Union Catholic, you still gotta work your ass off. I'm sorry, I'm cussing. You still gotta work your butt off, and you gotta showcase and show what you could do in front of a coach. Because a coach, Mike can have all the film in the world about a kid. He can send out film on a kid. But if that kid, when that coach come to watch him play, if he's dogging it, it's out of his hands. I mean, that happened recently, matter of fact. Not to put
Mhm.
business out there. Matter of fact, I ain't say no names. But that happened recently. Mike had a coach to come see a kid, and the kid didn't do what he had to do. It wasn't a D1 school, obviously. It was like a D2 school, looking at a young guy for the future. But the kid dogged it when the game started. So who fault
Indeed.
is that? You know what I'm saying?
Indeed. Okay,
So
okay, okay. We
yeah.
got that up. Next up.
Yes, sir. What we got?
Should non-publics be kicked out of the county tournaments?
Hell yeah.
Give me your reasoning why.
It ain't fair. You want to tell you? I'll start there. Let me just start there. First off, I mean, I'm joking in a way because I believe I love I love I like Catholic school basketball. All right. If you were to call Ray Miller right now, he will tell you. I go back to the Charles Lott, Shaheen Holloway
Mm-hmm.
days at St. Pat's. Al Harrington, ninth grade, Roselle, when he couldn't even run and chew bubble gum at the same time. Me and my brother, my family, were at all those games. So I like going to Catholic school games. But what I love is when the public schools get together and there's two good public school teams playing. The playing field is even. All those kids grew up together or trend or moved there. The atmosphere, it's always different to me. It's always different. I believe when it comes to county and state tournaments, those teams should look at. I mean, always Bob Hurley. Bob Hurley pulled his team out of the Hudson County tournament. There was
Mm-hmm.
no reason for him to play. If he was chasing national championships and titles, go play in those tournaments. No
Mm-hmm.
one's holding you back from playing there. Why would you want to beat up on Madison High School when you have a Catholic school team that's a juggernaut and then talk junk about it? Like, come on, man. I never understood that.
All right, so my rebuttal, because I do my research,
Yes,
right?
sir.
From 1937
Mm-hmm.
to 1991, only like two non-public schools won the county tournament. So that's like 60 years. Ain't nobody say they needed to be out.
Yeah.
Nobody. Y'all was smacking them around. Y'all was alley-ooping on them. Y'all was doing whatever y'all wanted. Ain't nobody say these teams don't need to be in this tournament. Now, when Kevin Boyle and them came in 1993 and they started winning it and they figured out a formula, now all of a sudden y'all want to pass petitions and stuff and say that they don't need to be allowed to play. Why y'all wasn't saying that from the 60 years that y'all was dominating them?
No, because you're taking every school and then against one school. Every school wasn't dominating. There were different teams winning the county championship. Linden will win, Elizabeth, Jefferson, Baton, all the different schools will win. But then when it got to the point where the same team was playing every year, it just became too much. And again, I'm not hate. I guess you could say it's hating, but at the end of the day, it's like, bro, like when are you gonna? If you're a national team, you go play a national schedule. Why are you worried about the county tournament? Now, Kevin said his reasons when I was at Johnson, blah blah blah. I've always wanted to win a town. He'll mention stuff like that. So we understood, but it was like it started becoming redundant. Like every year,
Well,
St.
when
Patrick's
Elizabeth was winning every year, I'm looking at the thing. Y'all ain't say they needed to get kicked out.
but I can't recall Elizabeth winning it every year, Mike. What years they won it?
I got it
They
right
won
here,
it like
brother. Elizabeth won it 1984, 1985, 1986, 1987, 1989, 1990, 1991, 1992. Y'all ain't say they needed to get kicked out.
but they were playing with an matter of fact, I can't even say they were playing with an even playing field because they had kids from other schools.
Exactly.
But
That's my point.
I don't rock with that, Mike. See, you asking the wrong person. I don't, bro. If Mike, I'll tell you this right now.
Uh-huh.
If by chance, okay, Plainfield High was to start doing what some of these other schools are doing, and I walk in that gym and I'm announcing, and I see 5 or 6 kids that are not from Plainfield or moved to Plainfield, and I know they live in all these other towns. I'm gonna grab my stuff and I'm leaving because it's almost and I hate to bring up other
Ah.
towns, but
Hey man,
bro,
talk your talk. Talk your
listen,
talk.
I would love to know how the Camden faithful, not the Camden, the faithful, the ones that go back to the Wagners and all that. How do they feel knowing that these kids are not Camden residents? How do they really? Are they
Mm,
really happy? Because to
mm,
me, Camden ain't winning. Because you got kids
okay,
from
okay.
up, you got kids from all over Broadway and all. Come on, man, that's not Camden. That's not. It's Camden. Don't get me wrong. They got Camden on the shirt. But at the end of the day, what are we doing in public school basketball?
I remember, funny thing is, I remember and I'm gonna try to get Malik Waynes on here, a couple
Mhm.
Camden people. I remember I went in the bathroom after they lost against Roselle at the buzzer, when
Uh-huh.
Roselle beat them for the TOC. And one of the dudes was like, yo, it was at the rack, it was mad people, and there was a long line, we all in the bathroom. The dude was like, yo, man, we shouldn't have been playing them anyway. It don't really matter. They get people from all over. And the dude from Camden looked at him and said, you act like we don't get people from all over.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm
I'll never.
telling you, so you telling me if y'all had one of those charter schools that y'all could bring kids in from different
Mhm.
places and they play for Plainfield, you will walk out of the gym from the scores table.
That I will. They will not see Terence T-Bone Johnson at those games because I will feel as though this is. We might as well go join a Catholic charter school. This is not playing. Those are not. It's not a Plainfield Cardinals. Like I said, 1 or 2 kids, I understand it. Transfer in, they move to town, they come live with their uncle. Whatever the case may be. I get that, but we're talking 6, 7 kids. Come on, man.
all
To
right,
me,
all
that's
right,
not.
all
That
right,
ain't.
all right. Hey, I
That ain't.
made my point, bro. Y'all
Yeah.
wasn't saying none of that when y'all was trashing these squads, bro.
Yeah, I understand where you're
When
coming
y'all
from, but
had when y'all had Union County, Union Catholic first round, when y'all was smacking people, y'all looked at that. Yeah, the JV gonna get in that game. Now they winning. Now y'all want them out.
no,
That's crazy to me.
we don't want Union Catholic out. Union Catholic does it the right way. UC does it the right way. I mean, don't get me wrong, Roseville Catholic, they do it the right way. I'm talking about when Roseville Catholic at one point a couple of years ago, they were talking about going national. And I said, and Sergio backed me up with this, and I'm like, well, if they go in national, they need to pull out of the county tournament because they have bigger fish to fry in my mind. But
Hey
like I said,
man,
Union Catholic, they do it the right way. But
hey
some
man, hey
schools,
man, hey man, they overcharging for what y'all did for Roselle Catholic when y'all was thumping them, bro. That's all. That's all.
bro,
Next
that's
up.
why we got. But we got something for both of them
Next up.
in the
Next up.
next 2 3 years.
Next up.
Yeah,
Should charter schools have their own state bracket?
bro, absolutely,
Give
one
me your
thousand percent.
reasoning.
Because all of their kids. Now, again, I understand the whole dynamic of charter schools. I'm a commissioner in the city of Plainfield, and the words that I'm saying are not based off of being a school board commissioner in the city of Plainfield. I understand. Oh, as Mike Gordon put it, doesn't feel authentic. And if it wasn't with Plainfield kids, I get that. I understand that 1,000%. So charter schools are public schools because they use public schools money.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a kid, like let's take this picture for example, which article came out today. I don't know if you saw it. Did you see it?
No, what they say?
So Asbury is suing because I'm just gonna 15 kids in that picture, right? College Achieve, well, they are alleged. Again, it's all allegations. They're saying Asbury Park is saying these kids don't live in Asbury. So when Asbury receives money from the state,
Yeah,
and
they
again,
got to
this
pay
is
that. They got to pay for
they
that
got to.
charter school. Yeah.
Yeah, they got to send that money to the charter school. So Asbury Park, which is fitting that this came out today, because I don't want people to be coming trying to sue me or Plainfield saying I
Mm-hmm.
said
Mm-hmm.
so. This is all in the article. Asbury is saying and accusing College of Cheese, we are sending you $2 million for kids, and you're saying they're from Asbury, but they're not. And we have to uh, cut 20 teacher jobs and 7 custodians and 3 assistant principals. They're all losing their job because we got to send this money to College of Chiefs. So it's a bigger picture that goes behind this.
But
But
they wasn't complaining when them coaches came to that NJSIAA thing and talked about this. They ain't say nothing about no legislation. They talking about basketball. So let's talk about the basketball part.
I get you, but it all goes together, Mike. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
So the basketball aspect to it is these kids, they found the loophole, which was a great thing. They found the loophole, the ability to get kids to go to the charter school. But if you're playing Group 1 or even Group 2 for that matter, and you have kids from all over, you can't say you are a public school when you're playing against Manville and you're playing against Madison. The NJSIAA was basically telling those schools they will never win another basketball championship as long as College of Chiefs is around because they can't compete. You're talking about kids from Manville made it to the state championship and lost by 40 because Manville had kids from Manville. They had 10 kids who probably were 8 of them from Manville, 2 of them moved there, and they went on a magical run. But they had to run into a juggernaut, which is College of Chiefs. And again, I'm standing up for Manville to say it ain't fair to Manville.
Now, my rebuttal is similar to what I said before. Charter schools just didn't get in Group 1. Charter schools been in Group 1 since their inception. They've been getting blown out. Let me finish. I ain't interrupt you at all. They've been getting blown out by 50 in the state tournaments year after year after year. So it takes the team from Patterson to win it the year before last, and then try to achieve Cap to win it this year. Now y'all want them out too. What's up with the public schools? Y'all wasn't saying nothing when y'all was smacking them around with them charter schools around.
But you have to understand what they are being alleged that they're doing. Charter schools.
They could have did that back then.
But Mike, charter schools are in the business of education. The business of education. Follow the money. Follow me here. It's a business, right? They make a lot of money. It's a business. They're alleged. Okay. So you follow the money, you're gonna see that what these schools are allegedly doing now. They don't have kids. What charter schools were. Charter schools exist in towns where the schools are quote unquote failing. That's how charter schools are able to.
Indeed.
Yeah. So when that happens, when they found the loophole, the alleged loophole, they start funneling. So, like you said, before College of Chiefs had kids from Asbury. The College of Chiefs in Plainfield had kids from Plainfield and North Plainfield. Patterson Charter probably had kids from Patterson.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're starting to bring kids from mainland and Broadway and Wisconsin, wherever the hell they're from. They're all going to the school. So
they figured out. They got tired of getting their head beat in, so they started figuring something out. So now when they start winning, y'all don't figure something out. Y'all tell them they got to go.
Mike, it's not fair to public schools. They're not a public school, Mike.
So was it fair? So was it fair when y'all was when the public schools were smacking them around?
Who? I'm not gonna say it was fair or not. I mean, they put us on the schedule. They got the ass kicked. But again, it was an even playing field at that point. If they had kids from, because again, charter school is supposed to be. I think it goes like if they're in Plainfield, they can have kids from Plainfield, South Plainfield, Scotch Plains, and South Plainfield, like towns that touch that charter school, something along those lines. I think that's how it works. But then when they start bringing in kids outside of that loophole, you're going outside of the parameters that's set forth for you. So therefore, once you start doing that, you are no longer playing by the same rules that the public schools have to play for. Because in that case,
so as long as they was only having like 100 kids in a school and y'all was mollywopping them, everything was cool.
Mike, it ain't that. As long as they had kids that were legally there. Can I say it like that? Allegedly. Illegally there.
right.
You see what I'm saying?
We got through.
Yeah.
We got through what we wanted to talk about, man.
Yeah.
What Mike had to say.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was for hometown kids, the kids that actually live in the city. Bro,
All
again,
right. Now we're gonna get into a little more about you as we go down to the finish line. Let's talk about Bone Announcer, man. How did you get into wanting to do that, and what's your love of it, man, and your passion? What do you get from it?
Bro, it's crazy because I've been announcing for 22 years. And to this day, before I say a word on that microphone, I say a prayer.
All praises.
I pray, I ask God to minimize me and allow me to add something to the event and not take from it. Because I've been to many events where the announcer is actually taken from the game. I try to just add something. So my wife has a thing when she says less is more.
It
Give
is.
them less and more overflow. So when I'm at a game and I'm announcing, I actually started Martin Cox and Lenny Caspar was doing it prior to me. And being, like I said, I was announcing, I was doing the clock, holding the chains. I was just around, like a Plainfield lifer type deal. And they were like, "You want to announce?" And I was nervous, just like I was nervous to do this interview with you. But I kept saying to myself, "I'm talking to Mike. I've known Mike for 29 years, so this is just me and Mike talking. Like I don't even know who's online, who's gonna watch it. It's just me and my brother."
Yeah.
So I got into announcing. I started filling it out because again, I didn't want to just be regular, but I also didn't want to be over the top. So I started thinking of catchphrases, put it in the books. Like when somebody get an and one, I'll be like, put it in the books. Or then I'll hear kids after the game, they'll be like, put it in the books. And I'll listen, I'll be like, wow, they said that for me.
Wow.
Or the sound. I actually got the sound, like when the 3-pointer, and I go, whoop. I actually got that from South Jersey, which you would know. But those in North Jersey didn't know that people in South Jersey do that all the time. But they do it as the shot goes up. I'll make my sound after the shot goes in. So little things like that. I guess it caught the attention of groups like the Hoop Group and May Hoops and Jordan. I actually did the Jordan Holiday Classic this year.
Well,
So my
dope,
first time
bro.
May Hoops. So I was out in New York. I went out there every day, did kind of like that was high level basketball. So now it's like, but I always tell everyone that called me to announce, I always tell them Plainfield is home. If Plainfield has a game, I can't do this game. And I don't care.
No matter what it is, no matter what the game is.
Bro, my love for the city of Plainfield. And mind you, this is girls or boys. If our girls are playing, I'm doing a girls game. Now
so you got a #1 versus #2 game in the state, and the girls playing in Plainfield.
I'm announcing that girls game.
Damn,
but
my man loves
because again, we could Plainfield we playing against Scotch Plain. Doesn't matter. I can walk by and two kids are throwing rocks on the wall against the curb, and if one is from Plainfield, one is from Scotch Plain, I'm gonna go root for that kid for Plainfield to kick his butt. But there has been times where my brother will say, "You have to go announce that." Like I understand where you're coming from. The kids will understand. You have to go do this, or like the Hoop Group will need me on a Saturday, and the girls have a 10:30 game, but they have the Battle of the Boardwalk or some top level event, and my brother would be like, "Nah, you have to go." But he knows, like right off the bat, I'm like, I want to do the Plainfield game, but he'll be like, "Nah, you got to go." So, but like I said, I appreciate everyone that calls me, reach out. I'm always booked. Like every Saturday, I'm somewhere announcing. So I always say to my wife, like, "Am I good?" And she'll be like, "All these people won't be asking you to come if you didn't."
You got the personality, bro.
Yeah,
you got the personality for it. You got the personality for it.
I appreciate that. Yeah, so I appreciate that. So like I said, my love just grew, but I always pray before I say anything on the microphone. I ask God to minimize me and allow me to bring something to the event.
As you should. Now, I've been peeping you moving, bro.
Okay.
And I've been peeping you moving, doing a lot of different things, and I'm wondering if this is in the works. Cause ain't nobody love Plainfield like you, bro. You gotta run one day. Like, come on, you got to at least throw your hat in the ring for something, bro. I've been seeing you putting little pieces together. I've been checking you out. Terence
let,
from
let,
there, bro.
listen, let me say something to you, right? So my wife's looking at me. Let me say this. So it is so funny that you use purple. Those in Plainfield know exactly
Wow.
purple. Yes. So I am connected at the hip with this brother by the name of Richard Wyatt. He was actually on here a little earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And Richard Wyatt, um, who I feel as though would be the next mayor of Plainfield. We have a mayor now. Respect to the mayor. I have
Mm-hmm.
no issues, no problems. I mean, some of the things the mayor does, some of the things, everyone, again, I respect the chair. I always respect the chair, no matter who sits in it.
Mm-hmm.
I respect that. And I'm not the one I'm not radical, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's a brother in Plainfield who actually got me back. I mean, I know the slang is off the porch, but I got off the porch when he came back to the community. He started giving back because I was, to be honest with you, I was resting on what I did back in the
Mm.
90s and the early 2000s. But when he graduated college and he came back, and I started seeing some of the things he was doing, and I'm like, yo, there's a whole new group of kids that don't even know who I am, and
Oh,
that's what
praise
made me get
God.
back into it.
Yeah,
So I
that's
say all
dope.
that to say,
Dope.
I will never, I will always, and I will continue to support Richard Wyatt in his quest to be the mayor of the city of Plainfield. Now, I've ran for commissioner of Plainfield. I'm uh, I'm a city councilman. I ran for Union County commissioner. There are other avenues that I will
Oh, you said
pursue.
that you're a city councilman now?
No, no, I am a school board member in Plainfield. A
Mm-hmm.
commission. They call it commissioner now.
Mm-hmm.
So I am a current sitting school board member in the city of Plainfield. And as long as Richard Wyatt is running and he's in, have his hand in the hat in the ring, I will 1,000% continue to support him in his quest, no matter what, whatever it takes. So
Now
Terrence,
I never heard of Richard Wyatt, so this wasn't
yeah,
no kind of thing or nothing like
oh
that.
yeah, okay,
I just see
but
how you was moving, and to me,
yeah, yeah,
I ain't never
no,
seen nobody that loved Plainfield as much as
yeah.
you.
I mean,
So
it happened. People talk to me about it all the time.
okay,
All
okay,
the time.
okay,
But and
okay,
he and
okay.
his colors are purple. That's why I was like, how would
Wow,
you
all
know use
praise,
purple?
all praise. That's the
Yeah.
most high. That ain't me.
Yes,
That's the most
exactly. Yes,
high.
yes, sir.
That's the most high.
Yes, sir.
So what you got coming up, man? What you got in the future going on, man? Immediate future, man.
Bro, it's crazy you asked me this. I mean, like I said, it's the higher power. So, like we just mentioned, that weekend when Dijon, Rufus, and Mike Price passed away, I've created something I call Everything Plainfield.
Mm-hmm.
Everything Plainfield weekend. While I know
Mm-hmm.
it won't bring those brothers back, I try to bring something to that. It's actually not happening the weekend of when they pass, but next year we're gonna have it back on the same weekend. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just something to bring the community together, to love on each other, to support the kids. Last year we started it. We had a art show, we had a card show, a basketball tournament, and a youth, a flag football event, which the young lady we raised money for, she actually passed away recently. So rest in
Mm-hmm.
peace for Jar. Um, this year we're not having a football, but we're supporting this weekend. That's what I said. It's ironic that you asked me that. This weekend we're having Everything Plainfield Part Two, and on Friday night I have the police and the firefighters playing each other at Plainfield
That's
High at
dope.
8 o'clock.
That's dope.
At 7 o'clock, I have the state troopers playing against the community team, and at 6 o'clock, my eighth grade team, who, like I said, I just left practice. I'm gonna have them play against each other because one team keeps saying who's better. So I'm gonna let them play
Dope.
each other. And
That's
then the
dope.
weekend, we're gonna have another basketball tournament and a car show. One of my friends in Linden, which, like I said, they are rivals, but the fans, we've grown to love each other. Mike Manuza, uh, he's a Linden faithful. He's gonna help me put a car show together because he loves cars. And I told him I was like, I need the help. Clint, don't start with that, bro. So He's putting together a car show this weekend. So there'll be a car show in Plainfield. There'll be a exhibition basketball Friday, and then there'll basketball tournament Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Uh,
Um, last two questions, man. I always ask these questions before I go off, man.
uh-huh.
Give me a situation where you feel God got you through it, so you could be an inspiration for other people.
Whew. Well, we're gonna get deep here. So I don't know if you even know this, Mike. I almost committed suicide.
Mm,
I'm gonna say August of 2016, maybe around that
mm,
time. I was sitting at I was at OG's tournament, Zoo Crew, and when I tell you, it felt as though it was time for me to go. It felt like it was time for me to go.
mm,
My wife called me. I'm talking to her, basically giving my goodbye. She had no idea. I'm trying to charge my earpieces.
mm,
Basically giving her my goodbyes, right? And then she said to me, "Come home." And I was like, "What you say?" She was like, "Come home. Like I need you home." And she hung up. And I'm like, wow. So I snapped out of it. And OG will tell you, my nephew played at like 10 o'clock that day. I was still sitting at that school, I mean at the park, because I was fearful to get in my car because I knew what I was going to do,
mm.
right? So I drove home going like 35 miles an hour on 78, which is like a highway. And I got home and I told my wife what happened. I was like, your words actually saved my life because
Oh,
I was going to
praise,
end my life.
brother.
And I had everything going, but it was just crazy how the devil caught my head, had my
Mm,
mind thinking, like, I'm better off dead. So when I
I've been
say
there, bro. I've been there.
from that moment on, I feel as though that's why I move how I move. There's nothing I don't think I can't do. There's no one I don't think I can help because I'm a living testament that God still is in the blessing business. God is still around.
Mm,
So he helped me. Now I just sow into whoever I encounter. I try to give them words of encouragement and I just support. Sometimes it's financially. Some of the best things I do for people, no one even knows. I
indeed.
just
I know. No,
because it's
indeed.
between me, them, and God. You see what I'm saying?
Indeed.
So
Indeed.
and people are, and I feel uncomfortable when they be like, "Oh, you're doing this, you're doing that." Bro, this is the hardest thing to do is talk about me.
I know, I know, I
I don't
know. That's why I
understand it,
wanted you to get on here
bro.
because you deserve to have your story out, man. And
Yeah, I
I
appreciate
relate to you because I was there, bro,
it.
in 2009 when I realized what I was going through. You know what I mean? When
Hmm.
I realized I was the suspect, and it just seemed like everything got dark,
Yeah,
and it just seemed like everywhere I turned, people was calling me a murderer,
yeah,
and I just felt so much shame, even though I didn't do nothing. I just felt like, why is this happening to me? You know what I mean? And the three reasons I didn't do it was one, I didn't want to go to hell, and two, I didn't want to put my family and friends through no more pain. They was already
hmm,
dealing with what happened with her. And
hmm,
three, I wanted to see it through. I knew if
yeah,
I did it, they would probably not investigate no more. They would probably think I'm the one that killed her. But
hmm,
I remember being dark and not thinking about it's easier to lead us. There's no way out of this.
hmm,
You know what I mean? And now when I go out and share my story, like I want to thank you when you let me come up there and share my
hmm,
story with those kids, and I see how it's helping people. I thank the Most High that he got me through that. So, because when we see the other side of it, then we know why it happened. What's the purpose of
yes,
it? You get what I'm saying?
yep,
And
yep,
so, man, I want to thank you for sharing that, brother. Because I saw
yeah,
you say little things about it, but I never knew the story. You
hmm,
know what I mean? You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And
That's why I said that from that moment, I just felt as though there's nothing, God's gonna use me and I'm gonna allow Him to use me at
all praises, brother.
everything,
All
yeah,
praises.
everything I do. So,
All praises. Last question.
mhm.
How do you want T-Bone to be remembered?
Man, mm. So I do believe in that dash, right? Because you have that
Mm-hmm.
birth date and you have
Mm-hmm.
that end. I don't know when that end date is, right? So that dash, I always tell kids, like, if one thing they'll tell you, I try to sow into them. I try to give them perspective, right? Because some people don't understand what perspective means. So I'll say trouble is easy to get into, but it's hard to get out of. Think, think twice, think once. You know, those are some of my little catchphrases that I say to
Mm-hmm.
people
Mm-hmm.
because again, that dash is gonna mean that's what my life is gonna basically boil down to. And I want to be remembered. Sometimes I'll even post that on my hashtag. I'll say be remembered, like to
Mm-hmm.
remind myself. Because many of the times when I speak on Facebook, I'm speaking to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I can tell when I see your post. I can tell.
yeah,
I
I'll
can
say
tell.
something just so I can see it again because I
I
don't
can
want to go
tell.
back to, like you said, the way I thought, the way I was doing. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I was nowhere near the person that was able to share all these stories, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
devil still to this day be right here. You know that.
Yeah,
But
indeed. I
I'm
know.
strong enough to know, like, yo, that dad, I can't disappoint people because people hold me to a higher standard. And I actually have a parent, one of my parents who I love dearly, Alameen Walker's mother, Kate, Coach K. She actually coaches in my program now, believe it or not. They have a girls' team, bro. We have Aunt Nelson's niece. Let me just say it. This young girl, young lady, is going to be the face of Playfield. Now, obviously, we have Bo Brooks that's at NC State. But when I tell you we have one named Layla Hernandez coming, that's in sixth grade, and we have a girl, I call them M&M, but Maya, Mariah, Messiah, it's three M's. They're going to be so good. So
Mm.
I say all that to say, I know they're watching, they're looking at what I'm saying, what I'm doing, and I don't want to let them down. So that dash in between my names, I want them to remember to say, Coach Bone was a good guy. If that's enough to say I was a good guy, and whatever I told him, I did. Because there's been times where I had to come out my pocket. I took a team all the way to the LeBron James tournament just so they
Mm-hmm.
can experience. We had no reason going all the way to Ohio to play the LeBron James tournament.
Yeah, I know the accurate joint.
10
I
kids
remember
from
y'all went
Plainfield,
out there. I remember you went
bro.
out
10
there.
kids from like, come on. But I told him, I said, I have no idea when these kids are gonna be inspired to be something. It could happen at
Mm.
this event. So who am I
Mm.
to say we're not going? So I got a
Mm.
van, took some of my money, didn't pay my mortgage, and I took the kids out there. I've had kids say to me, "I've never been out of Elizabeth until you took me to Virginia, to the
Indeed,
Southern
that's
Dance Festival."
dope, man.
Bro, it's
Yeah.
just like little stories like that. So I again, that smart is I will mean something. I will mean something different to some people, but the ones that's close enough, they'll know. Like my heart was pure, I was genuine, and I believed in you. So if nothing else, I want that dash to represent, the hope for the future. You know what
One
I'm saying?
thing I'm gonna one thing I'm gonna tell you in closing, if I could give
Uh,
you some advice,
that's that.
enjoy the moments as they happen. And no, because I'm gonna tell you why. And when you go home, think about it and take it in. See, one
Mhm,
thing I didn't do was one, I had that case over my head throughout when
mhm,
I was doing most of basketball spotlight.
mhm,
And two, I always was worried about the next event. So I never had a chance to really think about what I was doing and the impact I was really having. You get what
mhm.
I'm saying? Because I'm
Yeah.
always, as African Americans, we doing stuff. We so worried that making sure that we got to be pitch perfect. So
Yes.
I'm planning for the next one, and I got this event over my head. Now
Mhm,
doing this podcast, that's why I'm bringing all the people, the coaches and stuff on that was involved with me. Now
mhm,
having a chance to really relive it and really enjoy it now.
mhm,
Like people don't really understand. There was a time when I was going through the case that I used to be having a tournament at Hoop Group, and I would
mhm,
disappear upstairs because they didn't have windows in the building, and I would
mhm.
be having a panic attack. And I would go
Wow.
into the office, and they would give me bananas and Gatorade while y'all
Really?
doing the tournament. Y'all thinking everything good. I'm
Yeah.
upstairs. I barely could breathe and everything, bro.
Wow. Wow.
Because there's no windows in there. So it was
Mhm.
kind of like, to me, it felt like at times things was closing in. So
Closing
I
in.
would
Yeah.
dip and go into
Wow.
the office while I'm going through all of this stuff. So I never really had now when I'm reliving the moments talking, and I'm seeing different things, I could feel the impact of what was going on. So while you doing it and you get home with your wife, man, take the time to feel the impact of what you're doing now. You get what I'm saying? Enjoy that, bro. Enjoy that, bro.
I'm gonna take that with me, definitely. I appreciate
Enjoy that, bro. Bro, thanks for coming on, man. And
yes,
see,
sir.
you got through it, bro. And it wasn't that bad, man.
And you see my Knicks, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I see you, Drake. I see you,
bro.
Drake.
You want,
I see you, Drake.
bro? Mike wanted to talk to me on Tuesday, and I'm like, Mike, I've been waiting 50 years for the Knicks to play a meaningful playoff game. We have to do this over.
No, but you know what happened? Why that was a God moment? I had an AA commitment down in Toms River, right?
Oh wow!
That I had forgot about. I didn't put in my calendar. So I'm at. So you text me earlier and told me what was up. So I'm at the gym at 6:30, and the guy that I was doing the commitment with hit me and was like, "Are you still coming tonight?"
Wow.
So if we would have did and it was about, that was one of the biggest meetings I ever spoke at. So if we would have actually did the podcast, I would have probably missed that meeting down there. Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep. So that was all God set all of that up, and I had no idea at the moment, man. So once we get done, I'm gonna send you over the YouTube joint. And then you're gonna see so many clips of this joint, you're gonna get tired of me posting clips from
it's all good. No, I love
you know what I mean? So I got because I got the joint that I'm gonna get the clips back in about 35, 40 minutes. And then I'm gonna edit them tomorrow, then I'm gonna start sending them out. So thanks again for coming on, man.
Yes, sir, bro. Peace, man. Yes, sir.
All right, no doubt. All right. Had to bring my boy T-Bone on, man. Him go back to before I even started B-Ball Spotlight, Metro. I was at Metro Hoops and everything, man. So tomorrow night, tune in for Sober Heads podcast, one day at a time. I got a special guest, John D, coming in, and trust me, you're gonna want to hear his story. This is a serious dude. So tune in tomorrow night, 8 p.m. This Mike. Enjoy the rest of your night. Shalom.